Well, hello, welcome to your feedback session for homework number 6 on physics. Similar as always, please get your green pen. Please write down the correct answer to the question you may have gotten wrong. Please give yourself marks to the question you got right. And let's do this in less than 15 minutes at attack. First bit about this huge boat. 4 of the forces that act on this container ship are shown in the diagram as A, B, C, and D. At the start, the ship is not moving because forces B and D are balanced. The ship begins to move forward when forces B and D are unbalanced. Okay, you need, for an object to accelerate, you need the forces to be unbalanced. So you need B and D to have a different magnitude for the ship to accelerate. When a ship is moving at a steady speed, forces B and D are balanced. If it's moving at a steady speed, remember, if a force is applied, or an overall force is applied to an object, the object is going to accelerate. If the object is moving at steady speed, it means that the resultant force is zero, so B and D are balanced. You also probably need A and C to be balanced, because otherwise your boat would either sink or take off, which is pretty much impossible for a boat, but you know. So B and D or A and C must be balanced. The ship stops at a port. All the containers are taken off, and this is going to change force C, which is called the weight. Okay, and weight is caused by mass. So if you're removing some of the charge, you're going to decrease the mass of the ship, therefore you're going to decrease the weight. Also, because you're decreasing the weight, you're also going to decrease the buoyancy or the upthrust. Okay, but mostly C is going to change because of removing containers. Question 2. We have an object, 2 forces are applied to it. 2 newtons to the left, 6 newtons to the right. The resultant force acting on the object, because the forces are acting in opposite direction, you need to subtract 2 newtons from 6 newtons, and you end up with 4 newtons to the right. So your object is going to accelerate to the right, okay, with a force of 4 newtons. Next question. Base jumpers jump from very high buildings and mountains for sport. The diagram shows the forces acting on a base jumper in flight. The base jumper is wearing a wingsuit. That's going to increase air resistance. Draw a ring around the correct answer in the box to complete each sentence. The base jumper accelerates forwards, so to the right, when force A is greater than force B or bigger than force B. Okay, to accelerate to the right, you need an overall force going to the right. Therefore, you need A to be bigger than B. The base jumper falls with a constant speed. Remember, constant speed means that the resultant force is zero, or that the forces are cancelling each other out. Therefore, force C must be equal to force D for the base jumper to fall at constant speed. If D was bigger than C, the base jumper would accelerate downwards. If C was bigger than D, the skydiver, the base jumper, would decelerate. Okay, would still falling down, but slower and slower. To land safely, the base jumper opens a parachute. If you open a parachute, you're going to increase the air resistance because you're increasing the surface area. More air resistance means you have a higher force going upwards. Therefore, the speed is going to decrease, or the base jumper is going to decelerate, which means that he's going to land at a speed that is not going to break his leg or worse. Next one, question 3. And here, a lot of people make mistake because they don't read the question carefully. The diagrams A, B, and C show the horizontal forces acting on a moving car. So the car is already moving. Okay? Remember, if an object is moving and no force is applied to it, or resultant force is zero, the object keeps moving in the same direction at the same speed. Yeah? And then if you're applying a force to the object, it's going to accelerate or change direction or speed. The first one, you can see has 2 forces going to the right and to the left with exact same magnitude, 500. That means the resultant force is 0. That means the object is not accelerating. Because the car was moving already, it's going to keep on moving at the exact same speed. Okay, so constant speed was the correct answer for A, not stationary. The car would stay stationary if the 2 forces were equal, but the car was not moving to start with. The second car, B, has 500 Newton going forward and 200 Newton going backwards. So overall, we have 300 Newtons going forward, so the car is accelerating. And for C, there's 500 Newton going backwards, 200 Newton going forward. There is an overall resultant force of 300 Newton going to the left or backward, so the car is going to slow down for C. Okay, so A, constant speed, not stationary. B is accelerating forward. C is slowing down. Then question 4, an actor is attached to a wire so that he can hang above the stage. Draw 2 arrows to show the forces acting on the actor. So we have 1 arrow going down and 1 arrow going upwards. Which 2 forces acting on the actor? One of them is the gravitational force or weight. Okay, so the actor is attracted to the center of the earth by gravity, causing weight. The second is tension. Tension is applied by the wire on the actor. So those are the 2 forces applied. The actor hangs above the stage in a stationary position. If it's stationary, it means that it's not accelerating. If it's not accelerating, it means the resultant force applied to the object is 0. So it's 0 Newton. Next question. The actor has a mass of 70 kilograms. The gravitational field strength is 9.8 Newton per kilogram. Use the equation to calculate the weight of the actor and give your answer to 2 significant figures. So if you use 70 times 9.8, you find 686 Newton. That's 3 significant figures. You need to round it to 690 to give this answer to 2 significant figures. So the correct answer for the full mark was 690. Question 5. Okay, we have a skydiver again. What is the name of force A? The force pulling down toward the center of the earth. It's the weight. Okay? Remember, it's not called gravity. It's the weight. Gravity is just the field attracting the person downward or attracting something with a mass towards it. Next, the skydiver travels downwards at a speed of 56 meters per second. So every second it's traveling 56 meters, and it does that for 40 seconds. Calculate the distance traveled during this time. So distance traveled equals 56 meters per second times 40, and that's 2,240 meters. Here they don't give us any indication regarding the number of significant figures, so we're going to leave our result like this. Then the total mass of the skydiver and equipment is 85 kilograms. Calculate the weight of the skydiver and equipment using the equation weight equal mass times gravitational field strength. So we're going to do 85 times 9.8, and that is 833 newtons. Okay, we don't need to do any sort of conversion here. All the units are the correct one. We just replace the values straight away. 833 newton. Question 6. A student investigated the frictional force between an object and a surface. The student used a string to pull a small wooden block across different surfaces. The block was pulled at a constant speed in a straight line. Pulling the block causes a tension force in the string. The students kept the angle of the string the same each time. The diagram below represents the block being pulled across a piece of carpet. The students pulled the block along 4 different surfaces: cardboard, carpet, glass, and sandpaper. Give 2 control variables for this investigation. Remember, control variables is things you keep the same to make it a fair test. So here, they're just trying to see what are they changing? The type of surface and the value of the tension. So what I need to keep the same is the wooden block. You need exactly the same wooden block. You're only changing the surface itself. Then you want the block to move at the same speed, and you want the angle to be the same, because this could affect how much you would have to pull on the string for the wooden block to move. So same block, same speed, same angle. Then we have these results. Calculate the value x in the table above. So x is the mean value on sandpaper. So you calculate the mean value or the mean force. You're going to add up all the values together and divide by the number of value. So 5.2 plus 5.6 plus 5.4, all of it divided by 3. And that is 5.4 newtons. Which surface produces the lowest friction force? So the lowest friction means that the lower force is required to pull the block, and glass is the lowest friction, because you only needed on average 0.7 Newton force applied in order to pull the block forward. Okay, that's it for me. Before we go on your, to prove that you've watched this video, what is your favorite music band? Write down this answer at the back of your homework. Okay, that's it for me. Stay amazing. I will talk to you very soon. Don't forget your homework. Make sure you bring it to class and make sure you write down your favorite music band. All right, take care, guys. Stay amazing. Bye bye.